our working group was critical, based on critical perspective of artificial intelligence. And what we talk about the phenomenon of artificial intelligence within the broader context of digital transformation as a subset of transformation and artificial intelligence that affect directly or indirectly the world of work. Using the perspective and the theory of the famous sociologist Erwin Goffman, which talks about the frame analysis, a way to include a phenomenon in a specific frame, that in this case is the digital transformation, wider digital transformation. Then we discuss about artificial intelligence, digital transformation, and a phenomenon that we called work demagnetization, where the workplace essentially disappear. We have no more reference of the physical spaces. Think about the pandemic period and the practices of remote work and all practices like this. Also the past meeting and of the same network. I think last year and maybe 2 years ago, with the virtual participation, which can be a good alternative. For sure, it is not the same, because also for the pleasure to have us in face-to-face and with a vivid debate and more significant sharing of ideas and contribution and suggestions. Then we talk about the European strategy and specifically of the 2030 digital compass and the limits of a push strategy. Also because the digitalization process is a process that involves people, and we all know what this mean for phenomena like digital divide, difficulties with learning of digital tools and digital skills in general. Then we try to comprehend to do a comparison between what can be the job destroyed by the intervention of digital transformation and artificial intelligence, and on the other hand, what will be the jobs created. And unfortunately, results was almost always the same, with bad news somehow. That are the red arrows on the right. And so we have think about the fact that artificial intelligence can be seen as a new mean of production, using the terms of Marxist theory, where there's the capital and machine or means of production, and the labor power. So it depends mostly of who owns that means of production. Because this can lead to a further balance between the world of employers and the world of employees. And then finally we talk about artificial intelligence as a black box in opposition with a glass box, using these metaphors to underline the loss of control in like artificial intelligence and its uses and diffusion, and come up with a sharing conclusion that is the need. We think that we strongly need a continuous public intervention to ensure the fair use and dissemination of artificial intelligence. Yesterday evening, with Daniel, we were joking and we said that we were the work group of the skeptic people. But it is not so real, or at least not completely real, because we have decided to consider this working group considering the benefits, several instant benefits of artificial intelligence as something taken from granted. But we are aware that nonetheless really need the control of this great technology because we cannot permit that something like an invisible hand in the words of Adam Smith, the economist, can control the future of human beings. So we strongly hope that there will be a constant watchdog function by an institution and public authorities. So thank you.
Thank you, Ernesto. Who else? Would you like to back on your group? Yeah?
Good afternoon, everybody. Those from Malaysia. So I would like to sharing and report for the second group. So in the second group, we are talking about the application of the big data and how how we apply the big data in a labor market analysis. So we has been exposed by two research which apply two different methods in a big data analysis. First is sentiment analysis, where the presenter has presents on how we can use the sentiment analysis to analyze the perceptions on the by the job seekers. And second, very interesting, we have been exposed on the how we can link between two different data. I mean, from the administrative data which come up from the PES and with the big data with the PES, and also from the conventional methods of collecting data, LFS, which from the analysis we can see there is a very fruitful fruitful results which can help us to emphasize to know more better on our labor market. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. A couple of people have asked about the photographs that have been taken. We're going to send you a link in case you want to have a photograph of yourself and show you are here. So we're going to send a link with all the photographs that have been taken. On the same topic of photographs, when we finish tonight, if everybody runs to the front and we'll have our photograph taken of everybody, okay? So we can have a photograph of the entire conference, okay? So as soon as we finish, everyone come to the front, photograph, then we can all go home, get on our dancing shoes, and we can go out to dinner later on, okay? The next on here, we've only got a couple more things to go through. I believe we have a report from Eugenia Atin from the Big Data Working Group. Okay?
Hi, everybody. My name is Eugenia, and I am the coordinator of the Big Data Working Group of the network. Unfortunately, this year I was not able to join you in Sardinia, and that's the reason why I'm delivering this presentation virtually. At least we can do it this way. I cannot see you, but you get to see me. I am very sorry to miss this conference, especially Sardinia. I regret not meeting you personally. I regret missing the food, the people, and especially the experience of sharing time with you. Well, I look forward to meeting you personally at next year's conference. So for those of you who do not know me, I work at Prospectica, the European Institute of Future Studies and Strategic Planning. It is located in the Basque Country in Spain. And today I will speak on behalf of the members of the Big Data Working Group. And I will tell you about the new developments of the group. So I will first give you some context to our work. I will describe what we have done these past years, and then I will present the latest developments and our work plan. So the Big Data Working Group of the network was established in Milan in 2015. It is composed by labor market experts of the network from different organizations and countries. The group is responsible for observing the developments in big data analytics and for informing the members of the network regularly about the advancements in this area. The group assumes like an observing function on how big data analytics is applied in regional and local labor market monitoring, and the group also exchanges information on the state
based on online job vacancies. They also develop virtual maps of professions and qualifications, even occupational barometers, forecasting systems, analysis of demand and supply of labor markets. We can also do trend analysis of jobs, of vacancies, of occupations, of skills, as well as predictions of the chance of finding a job based on the skills demand analysis. We can also do estimations. Then we can do analysis of the future of work. A special mention for the setting up of a European system for online vacancy analysis and a web intelligence hub, which the CEDEFOP and Eurostat are working on, and that some observatories of the network have and are now contributing to build. This other slide shows the techniques that members of the network are using in their projects for extraction, case evaluation, identification, acquisition and filtering, validation and cleansing, aggregation and representation, analysis and visualization, and the taxonomy view. As you see, the labor market experts have identified many techniques and tools, including many artificial intelligence techniques, speech recognition, virtual assistants, all technologies that stimulate human intelligence. The observatories use algorithms to learn and execute tasks without human intervention, to identify complex patterns in high volume data, process natural language, solve complex problems, understand and interpret human language, and a great many others. This slide only demonstrates our network capacities, our skills in big data analytics and artificial intelligence tools. So seeing all the work that was being done by many of the members of the network, we felt that we needed to create a place where we could describe these projects. And so the Knowledge Hub was born and launched last year at this same very conference in Timisoara. This is the site that we have created. It is a website only for registered users. So in order to have full access, you will need to register by providing your name and your email address. And it can be accessed through the network's website, as you can see in this screenshot. One of the most interesting sections of the website is the knowledge library. This is where the registered members can access and see the work done by other members involving the use of big data analytics. There is a list of projects. We do not have a lot yet, but the idea is to grow with your projects. Other colleagues of ours have uploaded here their experiences, and other members can read and learn about them. It is a collaborative platform, so this means that it is nourished by us, all members of the network. To add a project, you simply have to click here on the Add Resource button. Then you will be asked to put a title for your project, a description, some keywords, the kind of big data categories covered, and then you can also attach a document if you like. Once approved, your project will be listed here for all members to see. Another important detail is that you can provide your contact information so that if another colleague sees your work and wants to contact you because he or she has questions or is working on something similar, then you can discuss about it. So if you haven't already registered, I will encourage you to do it. And if you haven't yet added your big data project to the library, please do so that we can all learn from your experience and even ask you about it if needed. I was telling you in the beginning that we have also launched the seminars of the Big Data Knowledge Hub. We felt that we needed to complement the Knowledge Hub with something more dynamic and interactive. And that's why we decided to do them. We have done 2 already, and another 2 are already scheduled to happen at the end of November and in January. And how do they work? Well, we let you know about these seminars through the network's newsletter. So you receive the invitation, and then you need to register. Upon registration, you will receive the Teams link to join the webinar at the scheduled date. In the seminar, a member of the network describes a project they have developed involving the use of big data techniques. Typically, it is a pilot project or an exercise conducted to see or to explore how the results can be used. The researcher describes the model and techniques used and explains the outputs. After the presentations, there usually is a commenter, and then there is an open discussion where participants can open mics and videos, if they like, to comment on the experience. After the seminars, the notes in the form of a report are circulated to all network members through the newsletters. These seminars are proving to be quite successful with around 25-30 participants, so we will continue with this initiative. I would take the opportunity to say that if you would like to present your case, please get in touch with me and then we can analyze it and we can program it. So I will tell you a bit about the 2 seminars that we have conducted already. The first took place in April. Our Romanian colleagues from West University of Timișoara presented a project they worked on about exploring how sentiment analysis, more specifically job seekers' sentiment, could be used to understand some characteristics and specificities of the labor market. They explained their research model and their results. At the end of the presentation, there was time for participants to discuss. There was a fruitful conversation, and the participants were welcoming more sessions like this one, and even hands-on sessions where we could learn how to carry out this kind of projects. The second seminar took place in June. This time, our Basque colleagues from the Public Employment Service of the Basque Country described the process they used to profile job seekers with the aim of making the Public Employment Service more efficient in its mission to optimize the employability of users. They explained how they had used artificial intelligence and machine learning to do this profiling. Again, there was a discussion right after the presentation. We feel that the working group's role is still crucial for the network, and that we need to continue providing insights to inspire the work of our colleagues. We need to inquire and inform about the potential of big data and artificial intelligence in our jobs as data analysts, researchers, or labor market experts. Our plan was to work at 3 levels: repository level, interactive level, and analytical level. Through the knowledge library of the Knowledge Hub, we are achieving the first of the levels, and our hope is that all members of the network register in the Hub to look at the repository and learn from it, and also to share your projects too, so that we can also learn from your experiences in big data analytics. This repository has been scaled to a more interactive level through the seminars. The plan is to continue with the seminars of the Knowledge Hub. As I said, 2 are already planned. The next one will be delivered by our Italian colleagues at CRISP, who are very experienced in big data, and the one programmed for January will be presented by the SECO in Switzerland. Our work plan is therefore to continue working on these, and then in the future, we will work on the 3rd level to analyze and compare the different methodologies that are being used by the network members. And then our goal will be to come up with our own standardized methodology and definitions so that the Knowledge Hub becomes a reference in the topic of big data. And last but not least, I would like to say that this is the work of the Big Data Working Group. I am just speaking on their behalf. There are 18 expert members of the group, and here I show their names. Thank you all for your great work. So that was all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope the presentation was clear enough, and I hope you find our project, our initiatives interesting and useful for you. Since I am not here, now Krista Larsen will take the questions for me. So please feel free to comment or ask anything you like. Again, I am very sorry not to be there in Sardinia with you. I wish you a very fruitful conference and a very nice evening. Please enjoy Sardinia for me and see you next year or earlier.
Right then. So are there any questions for Krista? Is the I think that was fantastic. I think Eugenia clearly has a career in television. I thought that was very clear indeed. Okay. I don't think if there are any questions, then if you talk to myself or talk to Krista, then I'm sure we can come back and help. The Big Data Working Group, 2 things I'd say. One, if you have a project, enter it in the system, because with loads of skills, but we need to try to pull it together in one place. And also, let's use this group more when we're thinking about presentations for future events and future workshops, because there's lots and lots of skills and people are thinking about what's next and how data can help us. So let's use this group when we're thinking about next year's topic. So next year's topic, Daniel. So would Daniel like to come? Daniel? Daniel's going to tell us a little bit about our event next year in Potsdam, I believe.
So, okay, thank you, Andrew. Thank you all. And I'm very happy to invite you all to come next year to Potsdam. Yes, here you see a picture of the Glienicke Bridge in Potsdam. Yes, it's the border between Berlin and Potsdam, and yes, the former border between the GGR and the western part of Germany. So quite historical view, and also a very nice view, as you can see. Okay, let me give you some information about my home region. Here you can see where Brandenburg, Potsdam is the capital of Brandenburg, where Brandenburg is situated in Europe, is really in the middle of Europe, is on the door between Western Europe and Eastern Europe, as you can see. And yes, Potsdam is in the southwest of Berlin, but I want to emphasize that Potsdam is not Berlin. It's a city on its own, with its own quality, and I hope you will enjoy it next year. Okay, before I will come to Potsdam as a city, let me give you some information about Brandenburg. Yeah, it's a country you can describe with very different perspectives. On the one hand, you have wide landscapes. You have areas with a very low population density. On the other hand, you have the capital region. You have the areas surrounding Berlin. You have areas surrounding Potsdam, which is really a kind of city-like area. And yeah, you have economically, you have a growing economy. You have, that's the most famous example. We have Tesla right now since 2 years, and it's becoming a really big company. But we also have other big companies, for example, BASF in the southern part. We have a big company, LEAG, who's doing coal mining and energy production, which will be later on more important when we talk about our topic. Yes, so, but on the other side, we have a lot of small companies who, in the broader sense, dominate the economic landscape. Right, here some key figures. Brandenburg was refounded in 1990, like all the others, East German federal states. Yeah, it's surrounded Berlin as a direct border to Poland. Very important for the labor market in Brandenburg. Yes, and it connects Eastern and Western Europe. The capital is Potsdam. Inhabitants, 2.5 million people. Okay, let me come to Potsdam on its own. Here are some pictures from Potsdam. Yeah, Potsdam is a really nice, interesting mix of history and modernity. You see here the castle of Sanssouci, quite very famous. And if you have some time to go there, do it. It's really worth to take a walk. Yeah, Potsdam has a really nice historical inner city. I guess you will see also, but also modern companies, modern buildings. So really a mix of more history and modernity. And like you saw on the first picture, it is also a mix of nature and city, because Potsdam is really a kind of white city. You all have big areas of parks and seas, a lot of water. So maybe you can also take a walk or a tour around the city to see that too. Yeah, Potsdam, I already said, it's an historical city where you find a lot of restaurants, bars where you can sit, coffees, drink a coffee, feel the atmosphere. Yeah, you can sit down and take your time. We have also a lot of parks, castles where you can use and to take your time. Yes. To think about our theme. And here, that's what we think would be nice to deal with in the next year. We call it decarbonizing economies and structural change. 2 dimensions for regional and local labor market observatories across Europe and beyond. What do we mean with that? In the first place, decarbonizing economies. There are a lot of descriptions. Yesterday I talked with Lucas about that. Other description could be green transformation or our way to efficiency or carbon dioxide to free economy, whatever you call it. It's a big test for us, and we are all on our way on it. And actually becomes a really actual scene because, energy becomes really, really expensive during the Ukraine war. But besides that, it's a scene for our societies and our economies. And it is, from my point of view, also a scene for us as labor actors of labor market monitoring, because we have to monitor this process. Political actors ask us, what are the effects on the labor markets? Is there only job losses when companies are closed? Or is there also job winners? How much? In what areas, what companies, competences are needed, and so on and so on. Strongly connected to that kind of global transformation of our societies and economies are another dimension, and that's the kind of specific structural change in specific regions. For example, that's why it's a big scene for Brandenburg. In Brandenburg, we already use coal as a supply for energy. And the government decided to go out in coal mining and coal producing for energy. That will lead to a structural change for that region, because obviously the companies that former are concerned with coal mining will not do it anymore sometime in the future. The jobs will have to go into other areas. And that's why I think it's are 2 dimensions. And I would be very happy if you can bring your own perspective on that. It would be very nice if we can exchange on that topic, for example, different regions. So if you know some regions who were facing structural change in the past or right now, please feel free to bring it into our next conference so we can put together different regions and try to learn from each other, to get information flow about this scene. Because here is a really concrete example. I think from the point of view of labor market monitoring, it's a bit easier because you have a specific region, you know the companies who are going to be closed or facing serious transformation. But it is really concrete, and it's important to deal with that processes. And so, yes, I hope you can bring in other examples from other regions of Europe. And yes, I hope for a very interesting discussion and exchange. And yes, it would be very nice to see you next year in Potsdam, and you're all invited very well. Thank you very much.
I think that's a really interesting topic. I think it's very much one that will attract attention, and I'm sure that we've all got examples of projects that we can bring along this kind of topic. around green futures and net zero solutions, biodiversity, that kind of thing, and the impact on the labour market. Finally, I understand that we're meeting tonight at 6:30 at the Petit Hotel to go to dinner. Please, somebody shout if I'm wrong. That's okay. Is there a coach? Is there a coach from here to take people back now? Okay, so when we finish, there'll be a coach downstairs. And the final thing is to thank our hosts. Thank you, EURISPES, for this fantastic facility and for going to all this trouble. Thank you to IWAK. It goes at 5, the coach. Okay, so the coach leaves here at 5 o'clock to take people to Petit. Okay. And I think, is there anything else? Probably our tech team. Thank you very much. And finally, if we could please all rush to the front so that Alessandro can take our photograph and we can prove we were here. And then we're all free to leave. Thank you all very much. Thank you.